as you know this, Rob, because being as passionate as you are, and having worked and loved music in the same way that I have and devoted your life to it, I always believed that when you interview an artist, it was so important to, listen to their answer and then respond in a way that you're responding to their answer. You're not just like, because you'll see people read a card and they're too busy thinking about what the next question is on the next card. And I think that in order to make it more of a conversation, make it more about a human exchange and an exchange of love for music and appreciation of what they do, I mean, that was just kind of the way that I like to do it. And that comes from that youthful, that thing that, that kind of, has never left me since I was 11 or whatever, or 10. But, that curiosity about what is the driving force or idea behind the songs that you love, or the artist and what they were going through at that personal time when they wrote those songs. So, I mean, that for me was, the way that I just interviewed people the way that I wanted. I was trying to approach it as, the way I wanted to see everyone else do it. You know what I mean? I always wanted to approach interviewing an artist as, like, if you're a fan, what you want to know. And I don't mean like uber fan, you got to go 100 miles into the woods, but, just to get to those things that you really actually care about, so. Because I used to, I'm sure you did too, when you watch people do interviews, and really they obviously didn't know any shit, or never listened to the record, or never read the book, things like that, and you're like, and you're a fan, it's the only chance, when you're growing up, you get to see this band being interviewed, and you're like, that's it? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
And I have so many memories of seeing you have those conversations with musicians who are famously not into talking.
Yeah.
I will never forget watching you interview Eddie Van Halen. And everybody knows Eddie Van Halen, in an interview, what he says is, I don't like to talk, and then he never says anything else. Interviews with Eddie Van Halen are really painful to read. And seeing you talk to Eddie Van Halen, just talking about music, and he was holding his guitar almost like a security blanket. And if he got nervous about talking, he would just play something. But I was watching this, I was like, I can't believe I'm seeing Eddie Van Halen have a conversation on camera. Like, I've never seen it again.
Yeah, that was an incredible experience because my producer at the time was working on the show, my friend Austin, who had been a medic in the first Iraq War. Loved Van Halen, and he had a tattoo of Van Halen. So we went up to 5150 and did the interview. One of my favorite things about that was finding, you're going in the bathroom in the studio and there's a quarter-inch jack to plug in your guitar right under the toilet paper. So you can sit on the pole and work on a riff, which was like, which was fantastic. I just thought it was great. I like you to read in the bathroom. Why can't you come up with a riff in the bathroom, right? So, it was amazing. It was so funny, And so we went out to dinner after we did the special, and Eddie wanted me to stay behind, and I looked, and he's so, for all the different things that people think, he's so meticulous. He had literally he had mastered the record like 25 times. But they were so cool, and we're out to dinner, and I go, my friend Austin, I embarrassed him, I forced him to show his Van Halen tattoo. And he wanted to get engaged to his girlfriend, who was also a producer at MTV. And I said, wouldn't it be really cool if we got them engaged on stage at your next concert at the Garden? And they go, okay, we'll do it. So we did it. We did this at Madison Square Garden. I remember rushing from the summer house in Seaside Heights, trying to get there on time. And I got there just on time. She thought she was going to see me sing backup on Jump. Which was great. And I sort of got to get up on stage at the Garden, and I go, my producer is, it's one of his favorite bands of all time, and it's always been his dream to be on stage with Van Halen, so we're going to make it happen right now. And he gets on stage, and he goes, that's true, but I have something more important to do. And then Eddie and Michael Anthony pull her up on stage, and he drops to his knees and proposes to her on stage right before the encore. And it was absolutely beautiful. It was like the coolest thing ever. So she was totally didn't know.
Wow.
She was going to see me sing cello.
Did you say yes?
She said yes. First time ever. Great.